Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices for Thursday, August the 11th. So we're looking at the DAX here and we're looking at an uptrend. But before we get to that, I just want to go to the bigger picture, and I think I'll use this charting program here. And this daily chart DAX, we can look at this as an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for a C wave. I know there's other ways to count this as well, but taking in consideration of other European markets, it's a reasonable way forward, and it also tunes it in too with the S&P and the Nasdaq and so on within reason. So what I want to talk about here is two things. First of all, we can have this as an A and a B and a C, and then that means we can we could look at this as a wave one going up here. It's not finished yet, and I'll talk about that a bit more when we go to a smaller chart, and then look at waves 3, 4 and 5 and move up here in a large 5 waves to make a a bullish market and a new high and all the rest of it. That's possible. There's no reason why. I mean, obviously there's lots of reasons for everything, but in terms of tracking the markets, we had 3 counts and now we're left with 2 counts. So this bullish one is one of the counts. The other count is that we look at this here as the not quite as high, but the A wave here, and then the B wave pulling back, and then the C wave up to this point here to make this larger B wave, and then we have a 5 wave move down here, and then we finish at that point. I know that from my understanding of the markets is that whichever way we look at it, the whole move coming down is corrective. It's not part of a end of the world scenario that is being played out in some media forms out there. So in terms of Elliott, I can see it as being a corrective pattern down. So we either have this A wave, B wave up here and a C wave, and then we go up here, or we simply can move up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So the question is when will we know what's what? And that's what I wanted to talk about next here. So we'll need to go to a smaller degree. So we'll be looking at this move up here as a wave 1 up here, and we'll also be looking at this as a wave A up here as well for this. So let's just move along over to here. So on this chart, this is 10,000 ticks, and we'll go in here and we'll look at all that in a moment. So this is the low over here for that. Now we could look at this here in terms of an A wave, a B wave here, and then we're going up for the C wave, which is in here. So I'll just make that a bit clearer there, get that out of the way. Wave C here of minor degree. From B to C, we're looking at 5 waves, so we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3, and yesterday we were, well, over the last wee while, we've been looking at wave 4, and this is a nice A, B, C wave here for wave 4, and then we're looking for 5 waves to move up for wave 5. So this is, let's just say that we'll do a bit of a dance around the 14,000, and after 5 waves anyway, we're going to have some sort of correction, so that 14,000 is a nice place to have that there. So if we have this as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave up here, now I don't know if that's true just yet, and I don't know if we've got 1, 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then going up for 5 here. So that's what we need to talk about now. So but when we do finish, you can see that we've got 5 little waves in here. You can see the strong wave in the middle, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So that's wave 1 and 2, and then we've got 3, 4, 5. I'm going to look at that in a bit more detail, but the point is when that finishes up here around the 14,000, give or take, in both cases we should see a retracement. Now if this is where we start to work out, when this pattern happens here, we start to work out if we're going to be super bullish or not. So if I take this low here so we're looking, basically I'll just take it to the 14,000, you can adjust it. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from wave 2 to wave 3 here, we're looking at a 38.2% retracement level, or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So I'll just put that in here for the moment, you know, but it's normally around that area there anyway. So what we could say is that if the market just comes down to this point here, and it could come down in, if it only comes to this point, it'll come down in 3 waves, right? And if it is in 3 waves to this point here, then it's probable, not confirmed, but probable that we'll have a wave 4 at that point, and then we'll go up for a wave 5. Okay, so if we go up for a wave 5, we'll just plonk that up there. It probably won't be that high, but it'll be somewhere in group 1 of 14,000, which would be 100, 200, and 300. So I'll just bring that down a bit. That's just a bit much. Be somewhere in there anyway. So if that's there, then the next step would be, because if we can figure out that we've got this as a wave 4 here, then we know that we're going to be in a big bullish move at that point. Then we'll be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, if I can confirm that being wave 4 there. And I'll just move that A wave out of the way and put wave 4 there. But if that comes down to that point in 5 waves, then it's not wave 4. But if it comes down in 3 waves to wave 4, then it's a 50% chance that it's wave 4. Bit complicated, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So then we would go up for wave 5 here, and if that was the case, then we would have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, probably coming back to, you know, these tops, that consolidation, that low, somewhere in here. It might dip down a bit further, but probably the 50-60% retracement area, and then we'll go up for a big wave 3 at that point. So we can put that wave 2 here, and so on. So the thing would be that yes, sure, we can trade up here and we can play around with this, but this is payday, this one here, because this 3rd wave here will be longer than all of this wave 1 here. I know that's pretty hard to grasp, but you know, certain things could happen, you know, in the world, as they do. So that would be, anyway, that's one count to the upside. Now the other count is that if we come up to the C wave here and we come down here and we come down in 5 waves or 3 waves, it doesn't really matter, then we would go back up 50 or 60% to the B wave, and then we would pull down roughly around here into a deeper support level over here for that. So that would, in that case, would be the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here. And in that case, that would also be, I'll have to take it from here in this instance, so just taking it to the 14,000, that would bring us into the 61.8%, which would be the 13,000. So into that area, you know, this area here, you know, that top, this bottom, you know, it's significant. So that would be that at that point, or around that area. So an A and a B and a C wave here. So if we pull down past the 38.2% retracement level, then we know that we've got this as the A wave, the B wave, and we still go up here for the C wave over here, right? Up to the B wave. But what will happen after that, after 5 waves here, then we're going to make new lows coming down into that space, right? So that's where that will be at that point. And that's that, just going back to that daily chart we just looked at here, that would be this move coming down here. So the A, the B, and the C wave for the B, and then we come down here. So I don't know which one we have just yet. We will know through, if there's going to be some blind spots in here that I won't know what's going on, and I'll say I won't know what's going on, so expect that. There will be parts of it I know and parts I don't know, but I won't know if we've got a wave 4 or wave B until this pattern matures in here. We can see, you know, we can get into the guessing game and have fun, and is it that, is it this, and, you know, you were right and you were wrong, and blah blah blah, and all of that. But at the end of the day, we have to pretty much let this move here mature, and then we'll know what it is. And then once we know what that is, then we know what the bigger picture is after that. So I think that's pretty exciting news, actually. So that's what we've got to come. So in the meantime, we've got a nice little bullish move here, and then we're going to be lost. We won't know what's been going on. We'll be able to get smaller sub waves and all the rest of it, not a problem. But yeah, understanding this here will dictate, do we have this big third wave that's going to be coming in? And that's going to be like fantastic if that is the case, you know. I mean, looking at the current political and other types of environments, it was pretty hard to see that. But I don't know, the markets always give you the opposite of what you're thinking you're going to get. But still, anyway, we'll see what how the cake bakes, and we'll take it from there. But anyway, that's that. So now I just want to focus in on this little area here, and that will be, I think we're working on 100 ticks in that, or was it 1,000 ticks? I can't remember. Here, yeah. So yesterday we'd just been looking at this here and talking about being long and short. I'll just fill in a few dots here and just get this on track. So we've got that beautiful 5-wave structure there for the wave C, and we've got the turn, and then this move up here is wave 1. So we can talk about that a little bit more, and then we can talk about wave 2, but I'll just 1 more, 3, 4, 5. So we'll be up here somewhere. Like I say, it should stay within group 1 of 14. So I'll just plug a few other little things in there. So when we talk about 14,000 or a big number like that, we talk about group 1 above, which will be 100. Not spot on, but 200 and 300. So just the Fibonacci numbers there. So at 300, close enough. And then after 1, 2, and 3, then we get 5, and then we get 8. But the thing is that if we get this 1, 2, and 3, that normally they act as sort of resistant areas here and pin the market back to the 14 here. And then below the 14, we've got, coming up here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And when we talk about 8, we talk about group 2. So group 2 is 65, in this case, 13,650, and then 13,720, the 72 number there. It's close enough. And we just normally give that a splash of color, just as a design visual thing, so we know what it is. So, this here will be the swing range for any of the corrections in that space. So the thing is once you understand that, if we get a tested, so the market can trade above the 300 here, but if it finds a tested support with a classic trading levels pattern like this over here, it can trade above, but would still need it to drop at that point. If it finds support by taking out, sorry about that, by taking out those highs, then if 300 becomes support, then we're leaving the 4,000 to the upside. If this group down here becomes the resistance, then we'll be leaving this number to the downside. So that's the beauty of group 2 and group 1. Group 2 is going to have a lot of support here because, well, we've got a 50-60% retracement level area here, so the market's been traveling sideways in that, and this is also group 2 in here. We can see the market sort of kept itself, you know, it's really pinned it. But this here now will become the support for over here. You know, this will be supportive stuff over here, and then it'll be a battle of supply and demand on through this. So the trick is understanding group 1 and group 2. So normally you just trade to this number and get out, because anything that happens in this space here is going to be short-term, short-term choppy markets, and that's where you lose money. You make money in the trend and you give it back in the correction, and then this will be where the correction is in this space here. So coming back over here for this, so this is really scooting along. Do we need to change that count? That's definitely 1 and 2. That looks like I need to pin that in here, and that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. It looks like we're already sort of there in a way, doesn't it? I'll just check the, because this here, I can see this is 1 and 2 here, and this is 3 and 4 here, and this will be 5 to that point. And then we've still got to work off this one, because I can't call that 1 and 2. I can't call that 1 and 2. So we're getting a building process here. I'll just look at the the stock 50 for this now, just to check on this. That's the Nasdaq. It's the same thing with the Nasdaq here as well. It's exactly the same with the crypto market as well. You know, so coming up to here, is it wave 3 and we come back to wave 4 on the Nasdaq and then go up for wave 5 and have wave 1 up there, or do we pull back deeper in this space here? I mean, coming out of this Elliott Wave trend channel here tells me that this is more of a third wave than wave C. But and then I look at Apple and stocks like that have moved up past their 61.8% of the whole rally to the downside, and you're kind of thinking that the whole thing is bullish. But as I mentioned down the below here, as we do get up here, we can't get lost in that it's bullish. We have to just we have to stay with the evidence of all of that. Anyway, waffling on. So what does this look like here? Definitely wants to go up. I mean, I know that, but it looks like it's let me just try to, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That belongs to that, doesn't it? It's like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 in the second quarter. No, that's got to be there. It's like 1 and 2. Oh, I'm just going to put it here as 1 and 2 at the moment. Just see how that looks. Definitely a little third wave price action there, and then there'll be a fourth. And once again, into this space, we can see that we're also into a group 2 here as well with the orange line here. So at 3.8 here, this is a minor level at 800, and this is sub levels. So between I won't worry about too much. I'll just stay on point here. Otherwise, let's just start waffling on. We have to call that 1 and 2 over here. And so that's going to be wave 3, and then wave 4 here. So we're going to have a series of wave 4s here. And then we always call 8 a profit-taking number. So that 8 here is going to be quite critical for the stock 50 here. I mean, it looks like a nice third wave here, but it's still, this is going to be expanded. I'll still have to put that, yeah, it's a bit unusual. I don't want to go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Could be, though, we have 3. It could be like that, you know. So that would make that wave 1 and 2 here a little bit odd. Just have a look at this first. I'll just go this way with it, and we'll just put this up here. Check on that. But that would bring that back to this one here of being 1 and 2. And then I'll have to bring this one back to probably even to this point, but it doesn't really matter too much at that point. And then I'll just be inclusive of this one here as 1, 2, 3. So I'll have to put that up here. It's going to take us past that. It's going to be over here somewhere. That's going to be there. That's going to be there. That's going to be back over here. That's going to come back and find that as support there. And that this wave 4 here will create that. So I'm just going to look at it like this, moving up higher. And then that will just be wave 3. So maybe going up higher than I anticipated. I think that's the best fit, you know. Because I can't just look at that as wave 1 and 2 to here, so it's probably 1 and 2. I could look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, but then this wave makes it more, because then this would have to be 1, 2, 3. Then I'll have to put wave 1 all the way up here, you know. Anyway, the good news is risk on, stay long, take some money at the 8 here, and there will be. If I can just draw it over here, as this comes up here, it's going to play around in here for a bit and get a bit complicated and confuse you, and then it's going to go up and hit the 8, and then it's going to come back and find this area of support, and then it's going to push up here. And because this is all group 2 stuff here, then we need group 1 of this minor level 8 here, so that means that we're going to be looking at 10, 1, 2 and 3 really. So 30, and then of course there'll be 50 after that. If I got 2 there, yeah, so we can put that at 50. but it's really about this. This is the swing range, 10, 20 and 30 here. And this 10 is important because if the market's going to trade above this number here, then the 10 is really important. It's actually number 1. So 1 is the strongest number in the market, followed by 5 and then 8 and then 3. So, yeah, anyway, that's all good there. Let's just have a look at the FTSE for a moment. Okay, the FTSE's just doing its own thing, so we'll just... it's all pretty much on track. We can use this as wave 1 and 2 here. So we'll just do that. You can see that it's not ranging out. You can see that it's it doesn't want to leave the house, you know. It's going to have... do you have pancakes on Tuesdays? So it'll be something like that. It hasn't got this as support. So visually, it's like 5 is the second strongest number. So 5 there. That's not support yet, is it? If it took that top out there, that would be support. So you could trade that up, but there's not much range in it. You know, the stock 50, the stock 50. Yeah, it's got more range in it. So, but anyway, look for further upside. Yeah, that's it. So let's have a look at the next thing's the currency. And I'm still trying to figure out, this is a monthly chart, I'm still trying to figure out, we know we've got 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, and ABC for the fourth wave here. I'm still trying to work out if we've got a top in place yet. The wave count here hasn't, some of it I understand, but some of it hasn't been very kind to me. So I don't know if we've got another move to the upside yet. The thing that I'm thinking though is that, you know, when if I can bring the NASDAQ back up here for a moment. So when we get up here, for example, so if we're going to be pulling back to wave 4 here, or having some sort of ABC pattern back here like this, if this is going to be pulling back down here for the DAX and so on, while that's going on, then this will, if we've got a 3-wave move back, then that means that we will have a 3-wave move in the opposite direction. So we'll have 2 more highs in here to finish this off, you know what I mean, while the other one's pulling back, and then we'll drop at that point. And while this pulls back here, then the other markets have its push to the upside. So we could be looking at that. This is just not clear in here. We'll go in and have a look at it, but it's not clear. And I've been thinking about this a little bit, and then counting up from here on that, and it probably won't make a lot of sense because I've only done sort of, I know what I'm doing, but I've just done half a job on labeling it, that's all. So I was thinking from this wave 4 here, right, up to this is a weekly chart, up to wave 5 here. I was just looking at it briefly here this morning before I did this, or before I just did this video, but with wave 1 here, and then there'll be 2 here, then this will be 5 waves up for wave 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, and back for 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here for the third wave, coming back for the fourth wave, pretty much just where that V-shaped low is there, above group 1, finding support on top of things like this one here would be about right, and then pushing up for you know, higher up here for that. So that's quite possible. But what I normally find is that when a market is sort of swept up here like that, it's very normal for it to come back and check it as support. You know, that's kind of what we would sort of normally expect it to do at that point, because yeah, this is the, you know, when we look at the classic trading levels pattern, we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and that's kind of where we are here. We've got the arrival and then the reaction, the ABC for the reaction, then the first high above the level. So we're in the first high above the level here, and 1 is the strongest number. So it hasn't come back and tested these highs here yet, you know, and that's what I think that it needs to do. I'm just unsure about, do we have the high in already and we're going to be pulling back down, or do we need to go further up? So when we look at this on the daily chart, we've got it sitting up here as the high, and yeah, you know, we've counted coming up through here. I can extend this quite easily. It's not like it's not a big deal to expand a wave count, because they're all just impulse waves, you know, heading to the upside. But we counted conservatively up here, and we've got that. But I mean, we've moved down here nicely, and we'll look at that. But it's just not a very clear count, you know. And yeah, so let's just go into that. We're on the 2K tick here, so we'll just go in there and check on that. So 2K, just getting a bit more data. 2.5, yeah, so that's the top area there for that. And we've talked about this a little bit here, and the problem, one of the problems is that this move down through here is it's got overlapping wave structures here, so it's kind of almost like it's corrective. You know, you can look at this in different ways. It's to count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here is a little bit of a stretch. If we had a nice 5 wave, say this mark, if that moved up there in 5 waves, then I could just quite easily look at this as an A, B, and C wave here for a B wave, and then I could look at this 5 wave structure here and go an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and we just continue to come down. But it made that other little move up here and made another high here, and that move there was corrective. We noted that, so we knew we were going up. So it's left us with that 3 wave move here. So yeah, so I still ponder this. Now I can count 5 waves down to this point here, or I could extend this out and put wave 4 over here and bring this wave 1 down to here. That's also possible to do that. That would work. But looking at this as 5 waves here is like it's a little bit sort of, well, it's pretty dodgy, really. So this is a bit of still a bit unclear to me, this point here. Yesterday, or whenever last we spoke about this, we talked about that we counted down here as 5 waves. So we're looking for a retracement back up to the 50-60%. Didn't quite get there, but the idea was to go short on the euro and to go long on the euro and long on the Australian dollar. They're the ones that we track a bit, if that low is broken. So you may have done that, you may not have done that. It doesn't really matter. It's still we still don't really know what's going on. So, but what I do know is that this will be wave 1 to a nice strong 3rd wave here. So we're seeing the 4th wave rally here that can pull back, you know, 38% from this top to this bottom here, and then we should get one more down here. So I don't know if this is wave 1 down here, or we need to look at this here and this is some sort of whole corrective pattern here at this point. But what I do know is that we can take, just to be sure, when you get down to here, take profit on this trade. And secondly, if this 5 wave move here is wave 1 here, then we're going to be coming back for wave 2 over here at a 50-60, too many objects on the chart. So that means that once that's in down here, then we can look at a 50-60% retracement level. Yeah. So to about this point. So that means that, I'll just remove that. So that means that we can go short again under this low here. But I don't know if we've got all of this as 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2 here. Do you know what I mean? Or we could look at all of this as wave 1 and 2 here. Or do we need to look at all of this here as some sort of DXY here with a W and an X and a Y here? That doesn't count very nicely either. So I'm still a bit sort of, you know, I'm in 2 minds about it. I haven't sort of it hasn't been easy. I haven't figured it out yet, you know. And then I tried to sort of look at this in reverse and look at the euro here, and the euro just quite briefly here has really traveled sideways here, you know what I mean? So it's given a bit, you know, I could count it lots of different ways, but as 1 and 2 here, and I could look at that dodgy 5 waves here. That dodgy 5 waves is this dodgy 5 waves here, you know. If we looked at that as some sort of, you know, wave 1 coming up here and an ABC for 2, that would work, and then a 1 and 2, and then up here for 1 and 2. Same thing. So also need to take profit up there, so we'll just get rid of that. If I get rid of these, that will give me a little bit of drawing space. I don't need that. We'll need those, so I'll keep that. So yeah, this looks really sort of corrective. I can count this as an A, B, C, D, and E over here. So I've got an A wave here and a B wave here. But if that's going to be a triangle pattern, it's got to be a wave B here, and then we'll just look for wave C here, which will be this orange one up here. So when we get to this top here, that will be wave C, and then we just come down from that point. And we've got to look at all of this as corrective. And the other thing is too, is if we start to overlap this previous low here, which we're pretty much on the money there at the moment, we can allow a little bit because they're derivatives, but then it starts to become bullish after that, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if we need to look at this as a B wave, or do we go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and keep building to the upside? We would move, I'll just leave that there, but this, because we're going to get out of the next, as soon as you get above wave 3 here, look to get out. So we can put this over here on this wave B top here, and that's where we can go long again from that point, because if that's the case, then we can look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then go for 3, and you know, we're in a bullish trend at that point, and then this would trip here and come down further at that point, and would be on our way to the downside at that point. So let's just give it a bit of time. You know, it's it hasn't been sort of easy, and we'll have to pick and choose our moments, but we're all over it, and we'll just keep shooting the breeze on it, and we'll get something out of it. We'll see. Yeah. So, I mean, I thought if this was clear, this would help me with the counts for the DAX and the S&P and all the rest of it. If it was clear, and it's something simple, even if this 5 waves here was clear, and I could put wave 1 here and then have wave 2 here, then that would tell me that the DAX is in a big bullish market. It will make new highs, and the S&P will be like that, and crypto will be like that, because we're going to have a weaker US dollar. But I don't know that now, you know, because of this, you know. So a little bit unfortunate, but because this is obviously, and there's, you know, it's the same thing in the commodity section as well. I'm looking, you know, at iron ore and copper and all of those sorts of things, and gold, and yeah, I mean, this is really quite central, you know. This is the liquidity for those things, for everything. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Sorry to waffle on so much. Cheers.